All right, enough Chelsea. How about some quick hits instead?
Well, as a wise man once said, let's go, Gab!
Oh, very nicely done. Let's get the pandemic blues out of the way. 3 games postponed on Boxing Day. Arsenal Wolves, Leeds Villa also postponed as we record. There could be more. Nedum, there's a lot of fixture congestion on its way.
Yeah, there certainly is. And it's funny because this time is always filled with fixture congestion anyway. So the fact that they're now going to have to knock it back, they're going to be a few very unhappy teams later on in the season. And speaking of which, we've also had Pep Guardiola talking about a strike. And Thomas Tuchel is another one who complains that the powers that be don't care about player welfare. Starting with the fact that the Premier League don't have 5 substitutions. Gab, does he have a point?
He looks so unhappy. Did you see that? Like, oh, and it's men in rooms behind a table, and they don't care. They just don't care. This 5 substitution thing really bugs him. I've thought about this endlessly. People say, oh, no, we don't have 5 substitutions in the Premier League, only league in Europe not to have it. Because if we did, then it would favor the bigger teams over the smaller teams. Again, there is a lot
subjective, that, isn't it?
Well, you know what? It's subjective. It doesn't need to be. You could do a proper analysis and see, is this actually the case? I think empirical evidence elsewhere suggests that it's not the case, because what really matters isn't the quality of people on the bench. It's the difference in quality between the starters and the people who come off the bench, and the impact of having people who are fit and rested on the bench. But whatever. I think Tuchel's barking up the wrong tree. He needs to persuade 14 of 20 teams. I don't think it's going to happen. Arsenal romped a 5-0 win away to Norwich as Bukayo Saka scores 2. Nedum, Arteta simply said Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang wasn't selected. Is he pushing his luck a little bit, or do they really not need him?
I think it's a reach to say they don't need him, because very quickly things can go wrong. We've seen that so much in recent weeks with teams who've had 2, 3, 4, 5 players down, and who knows, that could be Arsenal. And it's not like they're really that heavy in the sort of attacker department. So I think he's trying to make a point, but he's a very, very brave man to be making such a big point consistently. But for now, while they're winning, I suppose.
And for so long, too.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, let's talk about the other side in North London. So Tottenham beat Palace 3-0 as Lucas Moura scored a header worthy of one Alan Shearer. And Gab, that makes it 14 points of a possible 18 for Antonio Conte.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty good for him. Yeah, no, and he's up there, and he's got all the games in hand, and you can tell he's really grumpy because he doesn't have enough time. He hasn't had enough time to do his double sessions. So all he can really hope for is really kind of teach on the fly, which is what he's all about, while getting the results. And they're getting the results. A lot will depend, obviously, on how they do with their games in hand. Sticking with that game, Wilfried Zahas got himself sent off for 2 yellow cards. Nedum, help me understand the second one where he reacts. He has a hissy fit. He's 29. He's not a child, yeah?
Yeah, it's not even the fact he's 29. It's just the fact he's played more than one game at that level and watched many games at that level, because you yourself, who hasn't played at that level, knows that's not something to do at that level. Would you agree?
Maybe he was channeling his inner Jules Koundé.
Well, yeah, that also didn't go very well either, did it? But yeah, people certainly can be emotional, but I think it's a big error, because the moment you're on a yellow card in a game, you play a different game. So for him to do that, there's not going to be much sympathy for him at all.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.